welcome back to our show, your show, Let's Talk Stocks. In studio with us this morning from Danya's Coffee Bar is Danya herself and Brittnay, of course, mom and daughter operating a coffee bar right here in downtown Kingston, Jamaica. Welcome to the show, Danya, Brittnay.
Thank you.
All right, so quite unusual. A coffee bar, well, it's not unusual in the grand scheme of things. There's the big name coffee places and so on. But most Jamaicans, we're going to hard food, the cook shop, the fried chicken, but you're into a coffee bar. Talk to me about the origins of Danya's Coffee Bar.
So, my mom is a registered nurse by profession, but
See, that's even more unusual.
I guess after you had kids, you kind of she took a step back from nursing, and at some point you just started making cakes for like friends, carrot cakes for birthdays, wedding cakes. She did a couple courses, and then I think it was, I don't know, maybe 2007 or so, 8.
It could be, yeah.
That she got like her first big baking contract with Page's Cafe at UWI. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Yes.
And so she used to do just like cakes for him every week. And then over the next 10 years or so, she just started getting more catering contracts, more baking stuff. She started doing third-party desserts for a bunch of places. Rituals, Encore, Just Salads. And she always wanted to, from I was in high school, she wanted to have, very specifically, a sidewalk, waterfront, downtown cafe.
Right.
Okay.
So in 2019, I was at Carrion Broilers at the time, CB Chicken, and I was getting ready to leave to kind of get back into food because that's what I did. I did food service management, and she and Just Salads were talking, and Just Salads was like, hey, do you want to take a look at this space with me downtown? Because I don't want the whole space, and I think that it would be a good fit for you. And because I was looking for something new to do and get back into food, she was like, hey, do you want to come and help me do this? And so that was really it. I mean...
Interesting. So you mentioned the downtown because that was going to be the next question. Your business is kind of niche, kind of exotic. So the question would be, why downtown?
Well, I think downtown, when I was growing up, there was a song that was called Downtown. Downtown, yes. And I just love that song. And downtown, especially a waterfront downtown, is the heartbeat of any country. And it kind of bothered me that our waterfront, our downtown, had become so dilapidated, so uncared for, and so. But I still desired to be downtown, to still have a sidewalk cafe. Now we don't really have a sidewalk cafe, but it's as close to sidewalk as we're going to be. Right, we have a sidewalk, and every now and again I say, Britt, should we put some tables out there, Mom? No, it's not possible. The wind down here alone is, and the cars and the dust and everything, but I still harbor sidewalk ideas. Anyway, this is as close to sidewalk as we're going to get. But downtown, we have been privileged really to be here when the explosion started and is continuing.
Right, because you spoke about downtown, dilapidated, but the waterfront is certainly coming back alive.
Yes.
Certainly with the advent of, did you say without giving them a free ad? Coming downtown, and then Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and you're right across from them.
Yes.
And Grace Kennedy put up a new building,
which is where we are.
We are in the process of that.
So yes, you're a part of that renewal that we've talked about for years.
Yes, and not just the bigger establishments, but if you walk along the street sides, you see all the beautiful murals. And I was doing a job recently on King Street, and I saw so many people way into the evening, the Saturday evening, when I was picking up my things, foreigners as well as locals, just walking by and enjoying the pictures, taking the paintings on the wall, taking pictures. I think that's what we need. We just need to, some people are still so afraid of because they have the memories of downtown being so volatile, and it is still in some regards like that. But sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And
So
step
you're
out.
an oasis and
Yes.
in what is happening. A coffee bar though. Talk to us about what that entails. What are some of the things that you do? What are some of the offerings that your clients enjoy?
Well, first it's a barrel. It's a coffee barrel,
Coffee
right?
barrel.
And we have the name barrel because coffee is exported in barrels, and we have actually taken the decor or made the decor using barrels. Now the barrels are really rum barrels because it was the decor was actually done entirely by J. Ray and Nephew's cooperage.
Yeah.
So, but the coffee barrel came up from the idea that you export coffee in barrels, and the name actually was given to me by a friend, maybe in 20. I don't even know when, but it was so far away. One day we were talking, and because my catering business is Fine Ideas, and as you know, I've been always talking about this coffee shop, sidewalk cafe. And I said it to her, and she said, my husband's good at naming things. And the next day she came back and she says, he says it should be Danya's Coffee Barrel.
Wow.
So we just reserved the name all these many years, many years. And it was just there.
Is it Jamaica is known for coffee? I mean, Jamaica's Blue Mountain coffee is big. It's one of the brands from brand Jamaica that just stands out there in the world. Are you doing Jamaican coffee, or are you into all of the foreign coffee?
100% local coffee. So we actually partner with Defcan Coffee, a social enterprise. I think you guys might be familiar.
Yes.
And they give us 100% local coffee. It's a blend, about 70% Blue Mountain, 30% other local. But they roast themselves, so we use the Defcan branded coffee, and they also provide us with baristas who are all deaf, right? So that's a great an added bonus for us there, because it definitely has helped us learn some sign language, and I think learning anything additional communication-wise is always a bonus. But yes, 100% local. We're pretty big on trying as best as possible to use local and small businesses where we can. It's not always feasible for us. It's not always possible, but where we can, we definitely do.
Yeah.
So we know coffee. Most Jamaicans, the natural coffee you drink either black but we've realized that coffee can be mixed and blended, and it comes into so much. We were talking before the show, you were talking about cold drinks with coffee and so on. Talk to me about the variety of offerings that you look at in terms of all coffee.
I would say that we have a pretty standard coffee menu, and so in addition to regular brewed coffee just dripped through the percolator, we do the regular gamut of espresso based drinks, so americanos, cappuccinos, lattes, mochas, but we do a few like sweet iced drinks, iced coffee, milk, sugar. Sometimes we blend it to help people really enjoy the blended, which is very sweet, very chocolatey as well, and we do also not just coffee, but just some signature drinks, I would call them. For us, our strawberry lemonade is pretty, I would say, our most popular drink, second to our chai latte, and we use fresh local strawberries for that.
Local strawberries?
Yeah, from Blue Mountain berries. Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said, we try to, and I mean, it's better pricing, it's better, we love to support local businesses, so.
Yeah.
You're quite exotic in your offer. A lot of times we say the things Jamaican, and we don't realize until somebody else comes in and say, hey, this is exotic, but it is.
I think that in the last decade or so, what has been classified as local and what we think about local food has shifted drastically in a good way, right? There was a time when the word local carried some negative connotations, that is local stuff. But I do think that we have a lot of people who are pushing really hard, the local produce, the local drinks and the fruits and all of that. People are putting in some good work, and I think it's fantastic, because I think that local can be more than just ackee and saltfish, which is fantastic. But I think that we have so much ability and range as a country, as a people, and I think that it's
all the fruits. And stuff.
And so I think it's good to just kind of look at what local means from a different perspective.
You mentioned at the start, you started in 2019, and that's just before the pandemic.
No,
Started
free.
in November 2019,
19.
so we had like
even
2
closer to
full
the
months before. So we are, for all intents and purposes,
A COVID baby.
We didn't intend it to be that way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you know, it's been there's no question about how hard it was and has been. In fact, to me, it was traumatic, very traumatic. And I think emerging from COVID, I don't think a lot of people realize that a lot of us actually are, at least I wouldn't speak for myself, going through some kind of post-trauma.
Yeah, we're going to break the show
Yes.
here. We're going to do it in 2 parts because we really haven't touched fully on your offerings and
Yes.
all that
Yeah.
you do and the
Yes.
downtown experience.
Yes.
But we're going to do it in 2 parts.
Yes.
We're going to wrap right here. Fantastic talking to Danya and Brittnay of Danya's Coffee Bar.
That's
Bar.
right.
And we're gonna do a second show, so come back with us tomorrow morning at 9 when you will hear all the fabulous things coming out of the struggles of entrepreneurship, starting in a crisis period and surviving it, coming out with your head held high, and of course drinking some coffee. As we always say here on Let's Talk Stocks, we bring you information to make better financial decisions. Come back with us tomorrow morning at 9 when we have the second part of our interview with Danya's Coffee Bar.